Sir, you hear that? It's too quiet. Let's make some noise. Yeah! Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. So in today's episode, we're going to chop up this bridge. No bueno. Let me show you what we got. Okay, so obviously you can see the bags aren't sitting properly. The mounts on the axles aren't sitting properly. And the pinion angle isn't sitting properly. We're going to have to cut these mounts off. We're going to have to make a new bridge. And we're going to have to realign everything, get everything situated. So it's going to take a little bit of time, but let's get to it. So really quick, I wanted to talk about the name STUGOTS. My son came up with this name. Obviously, I'm sure you've heard of Sopranos. Who hasn't heard of The Sopranos? Awesome series. And that's what he decided, my son. He wanted to call it STUGOTS. That was Tony Soprano's boat, the name of his boat. And it was a pretty iconic series. So well, I'm hoping that this Belair is going to be iconic. Not as iconic as Sopranos, but maybe one day. Who knows? All right, so one of the issues I was having with this Belair, okay, sawzalled, so it's nice and flat. When I flip the frame upside down, this is all going to get boxed, and the sides are going to get boxed. That's why it's rough, you know, like that. So just disregard how it looks right now. It's not going to look like that shortly. That'll be next after we get the bridge knocked out. So I guess the cool thing about these mounts is you're able to change the pinion angle. So I loosen them up, roll the pinion angle forward. I'm going to check it. It should almost be at 0. Looks like maybe 3 degrees, 5 degrees, but we'll see in a minute. I lopped off the bridge. I'm going to cut off these mounts, flush with the rear, and then I'll build off of it. These mounts have to go back further to keep the bag in the center of this bridge right here. All right, so currently the rear end is sitting at positive 1 degree. And what happens is when you raise the suspension up, the way these bars are set up, the pinion angle changes. So all right, so watch. Currently, we're sitting at positive 1 degree. Now I'm gonna let the rear down ever so easily. And you're gonna see she's gonna start changing. See how it's changing? Now it's at 0. Now it's at negative 1 degree. And it's gonna go all the way to 6 degrees. Well, it won't because the jack is going to stop it, but so, all right, negative 4 degrees. I'm not about to redo the entire back end of this suspension. I really don't want to do that. I'm okay with how it's operating because we're going to leave some yoke that can flex inside the transmission, which you should anyway. You never want to smash the yoke all the way in. But this will work. But now what we've got to do is we've got to cut the mounts off and make new because they're not set up correctly. All right, so currently this one's sitting at negative 2.7, almost 3 degrees. This one's sitting at negative 1.5 degrees. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but the bag isn't in the location where I want it to be. So, and I'll show you once I pull this jack out. So now we're at 4 1/4, almost, on that one. And we're at 5 1/2 on this one. Again, it's not the end of the world. I mean, I could literally get away with it, but I don't want to do that because I want it to be at 0. So when I make my mount, I want the car to go up and go down evenly. So let's get started. So one more thing to note, sorry for the fan. See how the chassis is laying on the ground? That's what I wanted. The front isn't. The front's where it needs to be once it's aired out, but the back is where it needs to be. I can come up a little bit, and then I'm gonna reinforce the entire side of the frame, and then weld steel underneath it. That's gonna be the next video once we finish this bridge. So I marked some lines in here. I'm gonna take the cutoff wheel, I'm gonna cut it down through here like this, and then once these are out of the way, I wanna make a line going across, and I wanna slice it like this so it's nice and flat. My goal is essentially to slide some new steel in underneath like this and create a whole new platform for the bag to mount on. So here we go. So I marked some lines. I'm gonna cut this bracket off. This is level. Come all the way around and do the same on the other side. And we're gonna do the same on this side over here. All right, well, after getting into several fights with cutoff wheels, finally got them cut off. So what I've done is I marked center of this mount, and I've marked center of the bridge, okay? So this here is gonna be the bolt hole for the airbag. And what we're gonna do is use our template here, and I'm gonna trace this out like so. We're gonna use our scissors and we're gonna cut this out. Here's our bracket. We're zeroed out. We are just about zeroed out. We're zeroed out here. We're good to go. Little challenging, but I'm gonna do this left-handed now. I can get, ta-da! So, there it is. Alrighty, sir. So, let me shut this off, turn my gas off. That's gonna do it for today. Tomorrow, we are gonna run to Alvo Steelhouse, pick up some steel, get this bridge popping. So let me show you what we've done. So our brackets measure from the ground to the top of the bracket, 18 inches. We're zeroed all across on all four sides, every which way but loose. And now you can kind of get the gist of what I'm looking to do. Let me sit a bag up here. It's gonna sit a little crooked, but it's okay for right now. Our bag is center of our bridge. So it's gonna be a small bridge. I didn't do this C-notch, obviously, so we're gonna need to work with what we've got. Not a big deal. I'm gonna cut the old shock mounts off, weld them up, and I think we're gonna call it good. So not too bad. Wasn't the end of the world. Can still get the bolts in, thankfully. My brake holder here is hitting my finger, but yeah, no worries, man. We're good. We are good. So I'm happy with how it come out. Again, just keeping it simple. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Not rocket science. We are not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're trying to make it work with what we've got. So till tomorrow. Catch y'all later. Boop. And in case y'all were wondering, we're gonna be using basically like a 2,600 pound bag, Firestone. I forget what model Slam Specialties it's, but it's like a 9-inch, almost 10-inch travel bag. This way we can get the S end up of the car pretty high, get the front up pretty high, and it should ride pretty smooth. So till tomorrow, catch y'all later. Sir, good morning. Got a fresh haircut. I look like a Q-tip head, is what it is. Safety first. Welcome back to the channel. Today is Wednesday, yes. Let me show you what we've done so far. Keeping it simple. I'm gonna bend another bar, curve it in to create like an X in the center. And then on the back side, what I'm gonna do is, for the fuel cell, I'm gonna lay some pipe out straight across and then hook it up into those bars. It's almost like a skid plate, sort of, kinda. I think that's gonna help me out as far as this fuel cell. So let's get bending. Everything's set to 0. We're gonna bend to 45. I just need 2 pieces. All right, keeping it simple. We got our bridge now in place, and we're gonna bend up some pipe for the backside. Show you over here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go from the ground down on an 80-degree bend, and it's gonna come flat and go just below the chassis there. And the gas tank will sit right on that, or the fuel cell, I should say. So, holy cow, sweating like a pig. Man, it's humid out today. So, I'm gonna spin the camera around. These back bars are temporary. I'm gonna adjust them a little bit. I don't have time. We're gonna go to Disney today. So, yeah, I like it, man. Tell me what you think. Boom. Simple, clean. The bottom bars are gonna end up coming down more. So the tank will sit on that. That's gonna protect the fuel cell. I'm not a fan of scraping and having your tank get worn away. Yeah, no bueno. So the shock brackets are mounted different. You can see the right one is closer to the center section versus the left one. I didn't do that, so I have to work with what I've got. So I'm gonna have to make an adjustment on the bars accordingly. So we're basically gonna go off of the airbag brackets. That's all I can do. Sir, that's gonna do it for today's video. I'm sweating. If you like the content, give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. You like the build, you don't like the build, send it, baby. Coming up on 800 subs. I can't thank you guys enough. I would have never expected the channel to get this big in the short amount of time it has. I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. With that being said, without you, these videos are not possible. That is true and accurate information. I'm gonna pull the ripcord. That's gonna do it for today's video. Have a great day. And remember, be kind to one another. We'll talk to you on the next one. Take care, guys.